Hello everyone, this is Angela Profit with Paperless Planners. Thank you for joining me on becoming more productive and more profitable by going paperless. Today I'm going to review MacMail and talk about the preferences and the importance to set your email up to work for you. So I'm going to go down to the MacMail application and open it up. And the first thing that you will notice over here is that I have 4 different email accounts coming into MacMail. And there's some clients that I work with and they have multiple email addresses, but they have multiple apps. For example, they'll go to Gmail, they'll go to their work mail, when really you can make it much easier on yourself and pull all of your emails into one application. Outlook is probably another very well-known one, but it can completely save you time and make you more productive. So once you pull in all of your emails to this application, the first thing that you want to do is set up your preferences by mailbox. So you'll have to do this for each mailbox. So you go up to Mail and go to Preferences. I'm going to start over here on the General tab and just mention a few things. So the first thing that I want to mention, I need to start over. I'm going to start over here on the General tab, and you want to read through all of these and again make sure that it's set up the way that you want it to be set up for you. For example, getting new messages, I want it to automatically send me push new messages into each of my inbox. I prefer not to have a sound every time I get a new email. And going down through here, making sure that, for example, if you get an attachment from an email and you download it, you can tell it, go to your downloads folder, which is usually the default that it's set up to. So here you can set up your accounts, and depending on who you have your email with or what server, Gmail is probably the most used these days, but there are others such as GoDaddy, Network Solutions, and so forth. The main thing that is important to me as a business owner is I want to make sure that all of my emails are set up as an IMAP, not a POP. And what that means is if I delete my email on my phone, it's going to delete it on my iPad and on my computer if it's set up as IMAP. So all of your devices are communicating and they're talking to each other. Where with a POP account, if I delete it from my phone, it's only going to delete from my phone, which to me is not very productive if you're not syncing all of your devices. I have run into a few clients though that they've had their various reasons for setting up a POP account, and I completely understand. It's a personal preference, but trying to be the most productive, I try to make sure everything is IMAP. And it's not always that easy to set up your email coming in and going out to a third party, MacMail being a third party. So if you do have trouble, I encourage you to not give up and to call your service provider and have them simply walk you through it. You can share your screen with the service provider and make sure that it is set up appropriately. You want to make sure that your incoming server and your outgoing server are again set up appropriately. If you're using an iPhone and an iPad, again, making sure that the server port numbers are correct is very important as well. And again, your service provider can help you with these things. A couple things to pay attention to is if you click over here on mailbox behaviors, if you're a fan of using your drafts folder, make sure that you want to store your drafts on the server. I recommend always using your server because you have a backup. If you store things locally inside the Mac application and something happens to your computer, everything is gone. So again, make sure that you have everything on your server. So your sent items, those are on the server. I want them to delete never. Your junk, your trash. If something's in the trash, it can automatically empty at 1 month old. That's something that I don't have to do. And then you can look over into advanced, and this is where you're going to find your port numbers. And again, some providers are going to require you to use SSL, which is just a security measure. So make sure that when you're pulling your email through MacMail that it is set up appropriately. You can set up folders for your junk mail. You can set up your fonts and your colors. I think that it's pretty distracting when I have an email going back and forth and this is clicked. So I typically keep that unchecked because I don't want to see all of the levels where other people prefer to see that. So it's just a personal preference. For viewing, there's multiple ways that you can view your email. And again, setting it up for the way it's going to work for you. So list preview, for example, over here, you will see that I have no list preview. But if I change it to 2 lines, you'll see a 2-line preview.
It's 11 o'clock.
That's my time clock that goes off every hour and helps me keep track of my time. So if you don't want to see a preview, this is where you change it. You can view your conversations, you can highlight them, you can thread things together, which actually your threading is going to be up here in view. Organizing by conversation. It simply means that if you have a conversation going back and forth, it's going to lump all of those emails together. I personally do not like that because we have one company email and I literally live off of flags and arrows, such as these. So if my assistant has responded to an email, it has an arrow, and then she flags important things for me to look at the end of the day. So depending on how you have your company set up and how you're sharing your inbox will definitely dictate how you want to view your things or view your emails. When you're composing, you can pick your text, you can automatically copy yourself, blind copy yourself. You can set up your preferences so when you're sending to a group. And one really important thing is you probably do want to pick an inbox. Our primary inbox is this email address. So definitely look at that. And then when you're responding, you can set up your preferences here. Definitely want to set up a signature. And again, you have to do it for each email account that you have coming in, just so you have your signature. And then down here, you can add your signature here or remove it here. You can set up a rule. So for example, if you're going to be out of the office, you can set up a rule for all of your inboxes in one place. And Tea Leaves is a third-party company that we used for our software management system. So you're not going to see this unless you obviously use the application. Other important things to pay attention to other than just preferences, but take a few minutes and really explore and make sure that, again, you have things set up the way that you want them. Again, organizing by conversation. If you do not want your emails threaded together, then make sure that that box or that is unchecked. And again, you can set up your inboxes differently. So if I wanted to see my iCloud threaded by conversation, I could certainly do that, but unthread my company email. If you ever see a little triangle with a dot next to one of your inboxes, it simply means that it has been taken offline. And so right here under mailbox, you can take all accounts offline, put them online. If you feel like you're getting emails on your phone and your iPad, but they're not coming through MacMail, something may have gotten unsynced. So you can always synchronize all accounts. You can do it by inbox here. You can also start new inboxes from here. Again, these are just shortcuts over into the flags, your rules. So pretty much under preferences, it covers all the big stuff from up here. The other majorly important thing to know is when you're setting up folders, such as under each email account here, you'll see that I have folders set up. Make sure that you are setting those up on your server and not starting folders right in the MacMail application. Again, if you set up your folders in MacMail application, you're putting it on your computer. So if something happens to your computer, everything is gone. So go to your backend system, which ours is Network Solution currently. A lot of my clients use GoDaddy is another one, or simply your Gmail. And once you set those up on the back end of your system, which you have to open up an internet browser to do that, then it's going to auto-populate here. So typically when you set up a new folder, go down to the bottom, right-click or click with two fingers, quit the application, open it back up, and your folder is going to appear here. So I use folders a lot just because I have a lot of emails that come in. Some are junk, some are not junk. But I often want to keep emails. I refer back to them constantly for various reasons. But again, setting up your folders, make sure that you have them set up on the back end. Also, you can see where I can hit hide and show. I have some clients, they're a little bit more anal than others, and they want this to look really neat. And so you can hide everything just as I did here. But again, I access my folders all the time, so I can open them and close them as needed. I hope that you found this helpful. If you have any questions, please contact me. If you liked the video, please like it, pass it on, and good luck.